Good morning, everyone, and happy Father's Day. Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living Calgary and the Love Stream Meditation. I'm Ron, and I am one of the spiritual practitioners here. So today we're going to do a meditation which I've taken from the works of Baba Muji, and in this particular one, we're going to call You Are Life Itself. And it's simply meant to take you to a place of unified consciousness that is beyond mind, that is beyond body experience. It's a restful contemplation, and hopefully I will gently guide you, pointing you into simple awareness. So get settled wherever you are, in whatever position that takes you to your inner personal space and place. And begin to draw yourself inward, becoming aware of your own personhood. Just sitting and being. And your breath is occurring by its own law, naturally, unforced. And you are here. Simply, you're here. You're not doing anything at all. Not about to do something or to undo something. Just a simple knowing. I am here. Here now. Here is. And your senses are opening and functioning by themselves without your intention or your assistance. And you are not waiting. The sense of what will come, what is next, leave that alone. There's no concern for any time. We're simply here. So no waiting, no expecting. And not being engaged with any ideas or concepts or sense of time, such as past. Whatever is past is done. Whatever we call future, it's only imagined. Leave it alone. Don't take it up. Only here, now. And this now, it's so fresh that there can be no history of now. Now is not about time. Now is just here. And whatever you may perceive as objects or things, they appear. And then they disappear. They come, and then they go. And there's nothing to pursue. Nothing to follow. Spontaneously, you are here. And there is a completeness in that. It's not that you become in stages. You just are. So feel that sense of being, that feeling of I am, and add no story to it, no dialogue, just the the sense of existence. And there is no image of self here. You are the sense of existence, not just a part of it. And you are aware of all the comings and goings. And notice this, that the watching of what appears or disappears is taking place in a space that itself is neither appearing or disappearing. The space is always present. It's simply here. And your very breath is moving in that space of being. And your senses, they're functioning in that space of being. And allow yourself to think this. Because you notice your body, you cannot merely be the body. It is seen, it is observed by you. How can a song hear itself? Or a moon observe its own rising? You cannot be the observer and the observed. Observing the senses, you are beyond senses. Observing the thought, you are apart from that thought. Observing the mind, you are beyond mind. And observing an experience, you are beyond that experience. Observing change, you are yourself, unchanging. And be reminded, you're not waiting or projecting. There is nothing to come that can give you anything more than you already are. You may wonder, am I imagining? Am I dreaming? Or maybe you're simply noticing. You notice the body is here. You can look at the body, or you can look away from the body, and it makes no difference to the awareness that you are. And if any strain should appear in the body, it's also just a sensation. And you can notice it. Be aware of it. It's not you, it's the body. It's a sensation that arises, which you can call yours. But sensations, experiences, they come and they go. In truth, all things perceived come and go. As the person, you're inside the body. But as consciousness, the body is inside of you. So just flow in your natural rhythm. There's no need to fight with the mind. Simply remain as the self as you are now. And everything is in place for life to unfold in its natural way. So just take a few moments now to be. Just be now. Until you hear my voice again. And here and now you know that you are not apart from life. You are life itself. In the now and the here, you're not concentrated or focused upon objects or things, but resting inside your own stillness, your own source, your own self. Know this feeling and notice this feeling of being here. It is not merely a geographical location thing. It simply means here with yourself. And again, there's nothing you need to do. No place to be. Nothing to change or fix. Nothing to hold or push away. No self to become or unbecome. And knowing this, resting here, your joy is complete. You're undivided, whole, complete, happy. And here there is no stories needed, no victories, no defeats. Here you are not a victim or a victor. Just be confirmed in your completeness. There is no need to discuss this with your mind, nor seek its approval. And it is only like this that you can enjoy the world without fear, without limitation. Become used to being empty of concepts, of stories, of explanations. You're simply here, in pure awareness and absolute consciousness. So now as we finish, allow yourself at your own pace to arise back up into the field of activity. Ever expressing as the experience of that which is. And when you feel ready and easy and focused, open your eyes. Namaste.
Spirit in the sky. Spirit in the sky. I did, yeah, I'm good. Spirit in the sky. Spirit in the sky, yeah.
Ready? You all ready?
Amy, that wasn't funny.
Are you sure? Are you ready?
Start?
One, two,
Shuffle.
When I die and they lay me to rest, gonna go to the place that's the best. When they lay me down to die, going on up to the spirit in the sky, going on up to the spirit in the sky. That's where I'm gonna go when I die. When I die and they lay me to rest, gonna go to the place that's the best. Prepare yourself, you know it's a must. Gotta have a friend in spirit, so you know that when you die, you're gonna recommend you to the spirit in the sky. Gonna recommend you to the spirit in the sky. That's where I'm gonna go when I die. When I die and they lay me to rest, gotta go to the place that's the best. Never been a hopeless sinner.
Never.
I never sinned. I got a friend in spirit. Woo! So you know that when you die, they're gonna set me up with the spirit in the sky. Set me up with the spirit in the sky. That's where I'm gonna go when I die. When I die and they lay me to rest, gonna go to the place that's the best. That's the best. I'm gonna go to the place that's the best. Let's do that song again. Dun 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 dun. That's the coolest riff in all of rock music, I think. Okay, now we'll do it right. Hello, everybody. Good morning. How are you? Welcome to the Calgary Center for Spiritual Living, where not spiritual leaving. We want you to stay. We don't want you to leave. Where we have music like that all of the time. I'm going to ask my tech guys. Okay, that's up there. We're good to go. So I will welcome you and introduce myself if you're new to the center. I'm Pat Campbell, and I am the spiritual director of the Center for Spiritual Living here in Calgary. And if you haven't been to a Center for Spiritual Living, there's a few things you need to know. We are a faith tradition that honors all faith traditions. We understand with 8 billion people on this planet that each of us is here to express an aspect of the divine and an aspect of the universe. So we're unique in that way. So there can't be just one way to believe, one way to be grateful. We are here to express that divine self in our own individual way. So wherever you are on your spiritual path, you are absolutely welcome here. And I would be remiss if I did not wish all of the fathers out there in TV land and here in the room a happy Father's Day. Give them a hand. We love us our fathers. Even if you do not have a biological child, if you have had a positive influence on a child, if you have been a good pet father, if you've been a great uncle or a brother or anything like that, that's what we're talking about. There is absolutely that divine masculine that each of you exhibit, and we are really privileged to have you as part of our community. So happy Father's Day, y'all, all y'all. So we're going to start out, we got kind of an exciting service today. So we are going to start out by singing our Kong song, and this is good old reggae music. So we had rock blues, now we're going to have a little bit of reggae. So here we go. Don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing's gonna be alright. Don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing is gonna be alright. Rise up this morning,
Yeah.
smiled with the rising sun. 3 little birds pitch on my doorstep, singing sweet songs, melody sure and true, singing, this is my message to you. Hey, don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing is gonna be alright. Don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing is gonna be alright. Rise up this morning, smile with the rising sun. 3 little birds pitch on my doorstep, singing sweet songs,
Sweet songs.
melody pure and true, singing, this is my message to you. Woo! Don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing is gonna be alright. I said, don't you worry about a thing, every little thing is gonna be alright. Let's do it one more time. Oh, don't you worry about a thing, every little thing gonna be alright. Yeah, don't you worry about a thing, every little thing gonna be alright. God, I love us. So I don't know if you noticed the newest member of our band, not Steph, little Steph, known as Remy. And she is the best little baby. She just hangs out. She's just hanging out and so mellow. And all the music and everything, she's just loving life. So I have things to share with you. I know you've been waiting to hear about this, so it's almost time to reopen the center. Woo-hoo-hoo! It's going faster than I expected. I thought we'd be making this announcement, and I don't have an announcement yet. So I'm being like the provincial government. I'm announcing that an announcement might be announced pretty soon. How is that, right? So we've put together a reopening committee that consists of Lance Rath, our former board president, Valda Harris, our current board president, Kathy Matthews, who is newly on the board, Ben Morgan, who is a crisis management expert, Amy Bishop, our music director, and me. And we are meeting tomorrow, and probably a few subsequent meetings after that, to talk about what is the best way for us to open to in-person. So it's coming. But what I want to absolutely assure you is that we will continue this way of presenting the service as well. We are going to be doing the love stream right alongside the in-person stuff. So those of you who are not in the area and are enjoying our services, we will still be here for you. And those of you who are just chomping at the bit to get back here and be here in person, it's coming. It's coming. So give yourselves a hand for being so wonderful and so patient through all this. Oh my goodness. Great news, great news. Okay. Excuse me. So we have the little library that is stocked with all kinds of personal development and spiritual books. It's called Help Yourself with a capital S. So go and grab some books, and if you have some books, we're not looking at novels. We don't want any naughty books or anything like that. We just want spiritual books, things for personal development, self-help, spirituality, that type of thing. And if you'd like to circulate that, we would be most grateful. You can drop it off in the little house or come by here to the center Monday through Thursday, 10 to 3, and talk to Kat. She'll be happy to take your books. So anyway, that's an exciting thing that's happening as well. Food for the Soul, next Sunday, June 7th, is the last day that Food for the Soul will be gathering for the summer to make sandwiches, and then they'll be starting again in September. So if you'd like to get in on helping make sandwiches for those who are in need, you can contact Lesley at Big T Barbecue or the phone number, and next Sunday is the last time we're going to be doing that. In fact, we have a number of our groups that are going to be going on summer hiatus. The Consciousness Seekers are on break now until September 27th. The Thursday meditation is going to be on break after this coming Thursday. The Saging Circle is on break for the summer as well. However, the Coffee with Dr. Pat is still going because, you know what, you guys, you're stuck with me, right? So Wednesdays at noon, I'm going to be on Zoom. That rhymed. Wednesdays at noon, I'll be on Zoom. Sing with me. Okay. And also Sundays after service, also on Zoom for the after service coffee chat and to talk about anything that kind of resonated with you for the service. So we still have ongoing programs, and soon we'll start announcing our in-person programs as well. So still lots of stuff going on. Okay. So now we're going to get into our more sacred part of the service. If you were on the meditation, you know that Ron Hahn, our practitioner, did the meditation this morning, and Reverend Lesley is going to give us our opening spiritual mind treatment. So Amy is going to lead us into that with a chant, and then Lesley will give us our spiritual mind treatment. So I invite you to just Go within. Go to that place of communing with the presence within.
The sea, the sky, you and I, each the face of God. The sea, the sky, you and I, each the face of God. The sea, the sky, you and I, each the face of God. In this beautiful moment of right now, I know there is only one presence, one life force, Spirit, Creator, Father, Mother, all the words, all the descriptors, the hundreds of words that we use to describe that presence, that inner self, that inner knower, that energy, that energetic flow that I am wide open to. I know this presence is in me, through me, and all around me. It is me and I am it. It, that life force, that pulsing, energetic life force flowing all around in everything and everywhere. And today I stand here and declare that today I live in the joy of abundance. The power and the presence of life expresses itself through me, through the beauty of abundance, of prosperity, of joy, of love. I stand here in the blessing of being alive, alive in life. I am deeply grateful for the stars and the beautiful blades of grass, that beautiful Remy, that little baby, and the beauty of the elders all around us as we celebrate today, Father's Day, the masculine energy of all of life expressing itself around us, through us, and in us. I know here that I let go, I dissolve my fears, my angst, my anger, my anything that is unlike this abundance, unlike this joy. It is dissolved and released back to the nothingness from where it came. There is no room in my life for that. I stand here with a blessing, with feeling that abundance, feeling that gratitude for all that I have and all that is to come yet. It's not over, it's just beginning right here, right now. And I recognize that for myself and for all of us here on this live stream with the Calgary Center for Spiritual Living. And all that we see today and all that we know, we infuse everything we do today with the blessing of abundance, of prosperity, of joy, of love, of satisfaction, of appreciation for all there is. And with this, I release and let go, because I know it is Spirit's givingness that gives us this, and it is my receptivity, my receiving of this gift, and the outflow circulating through my life and through your life. With this, I let go, I allow it to be so, and together we say, and so it is. The sea, the sky,
Thank you, Reverend Lesley. Thank you, Amy and Steph. As I was singing that song, I wanted to change the last word to love. Maybe because it's Father's Day. The sea, the sky, you and I, each the face of love. So with our hearts now so beautifully open from that treatment and that song, let us repeat our vision and mission statements together. We continue to do this to anchor things in. The Calgary Center for Spiritual Living is a beacon of spiritual illumination that inspires individuals to reveal their wholeness, co-creating a world that works for everyone. So I talk a lot about that term, a beacon of spiritual illumination, because to me, that's just so visual. But so is this idea of co-creating together a world that works for everyone. That doesn't mean a world that works the same. So a world that works for me in Canada might not be the same world that works for someone who is living in South America or is in Africa or is in the Middle East. We want a world that works for everyone, honoring everyone, their culture, their beliefs, who they are, each individual expressions. And our mission statement, the Calgary Center for Spiritual Living, makes accessible a way of living and thinking that reveals one's spiritual magnificence and personal power. We co-create an inclusive community that fosters an expansion of consciousness. That's what we always talk about here, is expanding consciousness. A consciousness means awareness or awakeness. So we're all about becoming more aware of our own divine nature, and at the same time being aware of everyone else's divine nature. So I'm so glad that you're here today. Now the moment you've been waiting for. Several weeks ago, we decided that we were going to give our CCSL band a name. And no, not the Hopeless Sinners. We're going to give them a name that fit what we are and who we are, because we're neither hopeless nor sinners. So we, thank you. So, all right, fine. So I asked you guys for your input, and you gave me a bunch of ideas. And then I showed it to the band, and they picked the ones that they thought they would like to have. And then we put it up for a survey vote, and boy, you know what? They were pretty darn close, but we brought it down to 3. And then this past week, 90 of you voted for your favorite name, and I got to tell you, they were still really close, all 3 of those names, but we have one. This one got the most votes, and so ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for the first time together. Elevation!
Your love lifting me higher than I've ever been lifted before. So keep it up, quench my desire. I'll be at your side forevermore. You know your love keep on lifting higher, higher and higher. I said your love keep lifting me higher, higher, higher and higher. I tell you once I was downhearted. Disappointment was my closest friend. Then you came along with my departed. No, I'll never show his face again. I said your love keep on lifting me higher, higher and higher. I said your love That I'm glad I finally found you. Yes, that one in a million love. And now with my loving arms around you, honey, I can stand up and face the world. Because your love keep on lifting me higher, higher, higher. I said your love keep on lifting me higher and higher. I said your love keep lifting me higher and higher. I said your love keep on lifting me higher and higher. I said your love keep lifting me higher, higher and higher. I said your love keep on higher and higher.
Woo! Elevation! Woohoo! Wah, 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 wah. We could have named it that. Oliver, could you? Thank you. I know. That's why I catch you before you get all the way to the back. Oh, how about that, hey? Give it up for them again. Elevation. I actually liked all of the main choices that we had, and I'm very, very happy with this one as well. So, how do you feel? Good? Elevated? Yeah? All right. Excuse me. Sorry about that. All right. So let's breathe together, shall we? Let's take in a deep breath. And again. And one more time, if you would. Perfect. So have you ever noticed that Father's Day has a whole lot less hoopla than Mother's Day? You dads probably are very aware of it. Mother's Day is like this huge big deal. Did you know that more money is spent on flowers and candy and jewelry and brunch out than any day of the year? It's like the biggest money spending day of the year. But Father's Day, most dads are lucky if they get a card and maybe a chance to grill something, because I know that's cooked meat. So, so if your dad was like mine, that was absolutely fine with him. One of my favorite stories I tell about my dad is that for years we would ask him what it was that he would want for Father's Day or for Christmas or his birthday or whatever, and he always said socks. And so we would get him a pair of socks along with whatever it is that we gave him for a gift. And one day I counted how many pairs of socks he had, and it was like 67 pairs of socks. So he was a good man. My dad was a very, very good man, and there were things that I wish were different. He was a little distant. He was kind of stern. He was stoic, very silent, and he wasn't super involved with us when we were growing up, but there was never any doubt that he loved us. The reason why he wasn't super involved is because he was working. He was a Marine, and then he was a bank manager, so he was always working to support his family, and to him, that was how he showed that he loved us. And so for most of us, our relationship with our dads is different. than with our moms. Moms love us no matter what. You know, we can be, Joseph Campbell says something about moms love us unconditionally, the smart ones and the stupid ones and everybody in between. You know, moms just, they love us unconditionally, and dads do too, but they just show it, and they just do it in a different way. They may not be the ones who are going to kiss our owies and make them better, but they're the ones who try to teach us how to avoid having the owies to begin with. For instance, my dad was all about check the oil in your car and make sure gas tank never gets below half, and know how to change a tire and balance a checkbook and save your money and finish school. I have a whole story about you know what, I'll tell it anyway. So I was 8 units from graduating from university. And I had a summer break, and I decided that I was going to quit university with 8 credits to go. That was like 2 classes. 8 credits to go be a country western singer out in the desert. I thought that was a really good career and life choice. And my father was like, you know, I really don't want you to do that. That's really not very smart. The choice is yours, but you are cut off if you do that. Thank you, God, I finished school. So my dad, that was the kind of guy he was. But you know what? It wasn't all just practical stuff. I mean, he taught me to understand football. And I love football. He taught me how to take care of animals. He was so good. He was so loving. All of the gushy stuff that we didn't get as kids, he gave to the animals. And you know what? That's okay, because I do the same thing. And believe it or not, my dad was a really smart aleck. And he had a really smart aleck sense of humor. I bet you find that hard to believe, don't you? So today, I am honoring and being in gratitude for my father, Marshall Campbell, the man who influenced me the very, very most in my life. And yet, there is another man who also had a huge influence and a huge impact on my life as well. And his name was Dr. Ernest Holmes. I think Ernest Holmes is kind of like the father of our teaching, right? So I thought it would be fun if we learned a little something about Ernest Holmes, who is the founder of our teaching, which is called the Science of Mind. Now, Dr. Holmes never had children himself, but he gave the world, and he gave those of us who have studied this teaching, deeply impacted us, and it taught us how to live life and live it abundantly and happily and intelligently and lovingly. That sounds like a dad to me. It's what your dad would want for you. So what we're going to do today is we're going to take a look at some of my favorite Ernest Holmes quotes and see what we can learn from them and see how we could apply them to enhance our lives. So the very first one is actually the first sentence of our textbook called The Science of Mind, and that is, we all look forward to the day when science and religion shall walk hand in hand from the visible to the invisible. Now, I want you to keep in mind that he wrote that in 1926, when the idea of religion and science being related was absolutely unheard of. Scientists didn't believe in God, and religious people didn't believe in science. Sounds a little familiar, doesn't it, 100 years later, but I digress. So because what Ernest Holmes intuitively knew was that because God, or whatever you choose to call that divine energy, is all there is, that God is all there is, then there had to be a correlation between the beliefs of religion and the discoveries of science. They had to go together. So he knew that the visible, those things that we can sense with our senses, to taste, see, touch, smell, all those things, That's the visible and the invisible, those things that are outside of our five senses, are made up of the same thing. And here it is almost 100 years later, and quantum mechanics is proving that at the most minute detail, at the most minute level that we know of, everything comes from the same energy and the same substance. So we know that in 2021, but imagine how radical and yet how refreshing that idea was. People flocked to hear him talk about science and spirituality in this new way. Out of that was born an entire movement. That's why I call him our Father. So another favorite quote of mine from Ernest Holmes is, "Love points the way, law makes the way possible." Love points the way, law makes the way possible. In this very simple and yet succinct phrase, Dr. Holmes teaches us about the nature of life. And the nature of life is both love and law. And when I first understood that, when it sank in, when I got that, my whole life opened up. Because it was so freeing to realize that the impulse, the purpose of life is love. And then anything that's going on in my life that may feel as if it's out of sync, I can still know that the underlying energy of everything is love. That makes sense? So love points the way, and how this loving energy works in my life is through the impartial action of the law. Love points the way, law makes the way possible. When I talk about the law, I'm talking about the law of cause and effect, the law of attraction, the law of what goes around comes around, the law of it is done unto you as you believe, the law of circulation, the law of reciprocity, the law of correspondence. It's all the same law, just different facets of it. That's the law of cause and effect. So what that teaches us is that we are made of love and we are governed by law. Love is our birthright, and law responds to the choices we make, good or less good. Inevitable consequences, Dr. Holmes talks about. So there's another favorite quote that shows Dr. Holmes' sense of humor. And so it's pretty wordy. There we go. If we believe that it will not work, it really works by appearing not to work. When we believe that it cannot and will not, then according to the principle, it does not. But when it does not, it still does. Only it does according to our belief that it will not. Right? The law is the law, and it works impartially and absolutely, and even when you think it doesn't work, it still works every single time. It does according to your belief. For instance, you've heard me share this story before, one of the things that I do in Foundations, which is our basic class, which we'll be offering this fall, yay. It was one of the things that I teach the students to do is how to manifest parking spaces, front row parking spaces. It's silly, but one of the reasons why it's effective as a teaching tool is because it's silly, and people don't have a lot of investment around it, and so they can surely, give it a try, including, and you've heard this story before, Oliver and his wife, Nika. They're taking Foundations class, and I'm talking about getting front row parking space. And I swear to God, no word of a lie, uniquely Canadian phrase, they proceeded to, after I talked about that, sent me texts 6 days in a row of them getting front row parking in front of Costco, in front of the mall. I am telling you, this stuff works, and it works impartially, and it works absolutely. So that brings me to one of my other favorite Ernest Holmes quotes, and that is, trained thought is more powerful than untrained thought. Trained thought is more powerful than untrained thought. So think of the difference between shooting something with a buckshot and shooting something with a laser. The buckshot is untrained thought, laser is trained thought. And the laser shot is bound to be more accurate and more effective. So the truth is, all thought is creative, but trained thought is more effective because it is focused, it is trained. And knowing this, knowing that there is this powerful law that responds to our thought, when we really understand it, we realize that we can use it. In fact, we are intended to use this law to bring about the kind of life that we would like to live. So once we understand this and we have trained our thoughts in that way, it is like having this extremely potent life hack that is available to us when we use it constructively. Because in that same quote, when he's talking about trained thought is more powerful than untrained thought, he also says, the one who gives conscious power to his thought should be more careful what he thinks than the one who does not. I'm going to read that again because that's a yowza. The one who gives conscious, on purpose, power to his thought should be more careful what he thinks than the one who does not. So there's the rub, folks. When we start to train our minds, when we start to train our thoughts, and we understand that our trained thought is more effective, we have to be that much more aware of what it is that we're thinking. Let me give you an example. Many years ago, in my former center in Temecula, California, we had a really big stage. It was like the whole front of the room, really big stage. And like I do here when we're in person, I would bring the ministers and the practitioners forward, but I would actually bring them onto the stage that had steps coming up. And this particular day, I thought to myself, wow, I'm introducing them. They're starting to walk to the stage. And I said, it's a wonder that nobody ever trips when they're coming up those stairs. Swear to God, no sooner did I think that than one of the ministers lost his footing going up the stairs. Now, did I make him trip? Not consciously. But I gotta tell you that knowing how powerful thought can be, and that I had that thought and it happened like instantaneously, it kind of freaked me out. A little bit. So the lesson here is for all of us to be more conscious of our powerfully trained thoughts. Ask yourself, do I really want to be thinking that? Do I really want to be saying that? Trained thought, more powerful than untrained thought. So I had some trouble choosing what I was going to use for my last Holmes quote because there's so many that I love, including, principle is not bound by precedent. Meaning that just because it happened before doesn't mean it has to happen again, or just because it never happened doesn't mean by the power of trained thought it couldn't happen. Principle is not bound by precedent. The other one is it can only do for you what it can do through you. In other words, if you do not have the consciousness of the thing, I don't care how powerful spirit is, if it can't get through, it can't get through. And the only way that it can get through is by means of you. This is the other one. We are not punished for our sins, but by them. There's that sin word. Oh my God. We are not punished for our sins, but by them. That's that inevitable consequence that we're talking about. I do this, I have this response. So I'm not punished for doing this, I'm punished by this. That makes sense? Okay. Then the last one. This is the one, when I first learned it, when I first was studying the teaching, like in 1990, I mean, such a long time ago. And, you know, I've shared with you, I didn't always make the wisest choices in my life, but I always had fun, right? When maybe not in the end, but, you know, I kind of believed in fun. And I come from this very stoic, very, family that's just, everybody does always the right thing, and I didn't always do that. And I was reading this, and I came across this quote, and I called my mother, and I said, I've been doing it right all these years. And that quote is, anything that will enable us to express greater life, greater happiness, greater power, so long as it does not harm anyone, must be the will of God for us. Yeah. Living well is God's will for us. Living healthy, living prosperously, living joyfully, living lovingly is God's will for us. Now, I could do, as you can see, I could do a talk on any of those. But instead, what I thought I would do is close with meditation. Ron gave us such a beautiful meditation this morning. But this one is actually written by Ernest Holmes. And it is in the book called This Thing Called You. And it just sums up our teaching so beautifully. And it can be used to positively impact our lives if we use it. So, Steph, I'm going to ask you and Remy to come up. And so I'm going to put it up on the screen. But if you are willing to close your eyes, you can read along. You know what? Make yourself happy. Make yourself happy. So if you are comfortable to close your eyes, and just breathe. And listen to these words by our Father, Dr. Ernest Holmes. I know there is a presence and a perfect law, irresistibly drawing into my experience everything which makes life happy and worthwhile. I know that friendship, love, and happiness belongs to me. Nothing but good can go forth from me. The good I receive is but the completion of a circle, the fulfillment of my desire for all. I no longer judge according to appearances, be they mental or physical. I place my reliance in the power, presence, and perfection of God. Freedom and joy are mine today. Is freedom and joy spontaneously express themselves in my experience? I permit them to flow through me in all their wonder and might. I permit them to flow through me in all their wonder and might. I am conscious of an infinite wisdom directing me. Whatever I ought to know, I know. Whatever I ought to do, I do. Whatever belongs to me comes to me. I am compelled to recognize my good, to understand and accept it, and to act upon it. I declare that every step of my way is guided and guarded with joy, with understanding, and with clarity. I enter into the fulfillment of life with joy, with understanding, and with clarity. I enter into the fulfillment of life. And so it is. And so begin to bring yourself back to this time, back to the room in which you're sitting. Take a breath. Happy Father's Day. Happy June 20th. Happy solstice. Yeah. Happy solstice. It's a time of new beginnings. Beginning of summer. The end of Mercury retrograde. Yay! We have such a treat for you. I just love this. I love this idea that Elevation is now going to feature Amy Bishop and her father, Rosaire Levesque, singing a powerful, powerful love song. Give them a hand.
Your light shines on me. Your love strengthens me. Your peace carries me. You're in my heart, helping me to carry on. Carry on. Your light gives me peace. Your love washes everything. When I'm lost and all alone,
Yes. Rosaire, stand up there. Receive your applause. Give it up for Rosaire Levesque. Amy Bishop. I love it. That's the sweetest song. I want that to be a tradition. Oh, thank you, Rosaire. Thank you, everybody. What a wonderful Father's Day service. Thank you all for being here. So this is my opportunity to kind of tell you how you can support us. Showing up supports us. Sending your financial goods supports us. E-transfer, PayPal, send your check, come into the office, call the office, every way that you can support us. And what I would particularly ask that you do right now is to do your prayer work, to do your treatment work, that as we move into this next idea of the center, you all have been... You have been so steadfast in your support during this difficult time by showing up, by being part of our community, by being part of our groups. It has made a world of difference for us, for Elevation and me, and for our sound guys to know that you're still here and you're still supporting us with your energy and your love and your prayers. And so I'm going to ask you to continue to do that, but with a different focus. And that focus is for us to be able to open again in person for those who want that. And at the same time, honoring and loving those of you who are part of our community virtually, because we are a community. So I just want to say thank you. Your prayers are so, so appreciated. So let's say our abundance affirmation, our conscious giving affirmation together. Just get that energy kind of moving. I live in a universe of abundance. As I freely and joyfully give, I join in the divine flow, and all that I give returns to me multiplied abundantly. I am so blessed, and so it is. So it is. Those of you in Alberta, if you want to see abundance, go out to the mountains. I mean, the trees are incredible. The flowers are wonderful. The Bow River at Bow Falls is so full, you can't even believe it. You want to get an idea of circulation and abundance, go take a trip to the mountains. So let's sing Dad. All righty? And then Dad. Yes. Yeah. All right, here we go. It's time for you all to come back. Don't leave me with these people. All righty. So we're going to rub our hands together, and we are going to send our love today to men. We're going to send our love to that masculine aspect of the divine as a dad, as an uncle, as a brother, as a friend, as anybody who has had a positive masculine influence on you. And we're going to send that out into the world. Okay, you ready? So here we go on a count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Whoosh. Love you. Have a wonderful day. See you next week. Bye-bye.
1, 2, up, 2, 3.
La 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 la. Hold on to me, don't let me go. Who cares what they see? Who cares what they know? Your first name is free, last name is dumb. So we choose to believe in where we are from. Man's red flower is in every living thing. Mind, use your power. Spirit, use your wings. Freedom, 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 freedom. Hold on to me, don't let me go. Cheetahs need to eat, run antelope. Your first name is King, your last name is Dove, 'cause you still believe in everyone. When a baby first breathes, when nights see sunrise, when a whale hunts the sea, when we all recognize freedom, 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 freedom. We are from heat, electric wonder. Does a shot get to see? He left us the sun. Atoms in the air, organisms in the sea. The sun and yes man all of the same thing. Freedom, 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 freedom.
Okay, you two, don't go anywhere. I wanted you to play the beginning of this song, and I'm going to take a video. Okay.
la 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 la.
Freedom.